Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here. My name is Valerie, and in this video I have compiled some videos that I have about fitted sheets, and I did that because over time I have seen where the questions were asking about under one video, which I have another video for, if you get what I mean. And so I figured for your convenience, I'll go ahead and just compile all of them in one location so you can know how to calculate your fabric, how to cut your fitted sheet. I even have a video that I have done a whole fitted sheet. So I hope it's useful to you. In this video, we will be calculating how much fabric you will need to make a fitted sheet. That is, if you are buying fabric that's double width or sheeting fabric. Now, I have a little diagram on the board here, and I also have some measurements. So let's just go ahead and go through the measurements that I have here. I have the width, which is, by the way, we're using a queen mattress for our subject in this video lesson. So we have 63 inches for the width, and we have 79 inches for the length. The 8 inches is for the depth of the mattress. Here we have the return, which is 6 inches. The return, right? So the fabric goes down the side of the mattress and then under. That's why we say return. And then we also have a double hem, which is 1 inch. Now we need to establish the total width and the total length of fabric that we will need. So let's go ahead and start with the width. The width of the mattress is 63 inches. Now we have the return, which is 8 inches. We will add 8 inches for the left side of the mattress and 8 inches for the right side of the mattress. Therefore, we will multiply 8 by 2, which is 16. Let's go ahead and add that. That's 79 inches. Then we have the return. The return also will be on both sides, right? So it's 2 times 6, which is 12 inches. That's 91 inches so far. The last thing we have is the double hem. Now the hem is to for you to string your elastic through to complete your fitted sheet. Generally, you do not need more than an inch of pocket to do that. However, we need to make a double hem. So we'll have to multiply the 1 inch by 2, which is 2 inches. So we add that here and we have 93 inches. So our width is 93 inches. Our length, the same thing that we did for our width, we will need to do for the length. So we need to add all these increments for the length. So we'll go ahead and 79 inches plus 16, and that is because we need to account for the fabric at the head of the bed and the fabric at the foot of the bed. The 79 inches is just on the top part of the mattress, right? So that's 16, so that's 9 and 1 10 and 5 15, 7 and 1 8 and 1 9. That's 95 inches plus the 12 inches here. That's 107 inches. I'll just put the 107 up here because we don't have enough space down there. And then we'll have to add the 2 inches. That's 109 inches of fabric for the length. and 93 inches of fabric for the width. Our next step is to go ahead and calculate how many yards of fabric we will need. Now, if you're using double or sheeting fabric, then usually it's over 100 inches wide, 118 or 120 inches wide. So that will cover for both the length and the width of the mattress. However, what you need to do is to decide if you are using the width of the fabric for your length, or you're just using it, and that would be called railroad. You're railroading the fabric, which you turns the width to the length and the length to the width. If you're using it straight up, width for the width, then we go ahead and divide the length by 36 inches. And that is how we get how many yards of fabric we will need. So that's 109 divided by 36 equals 3.03. So that's let's just write this here, 109 divided by 36. That's 3.03 yards of fabric, right? So you could round that up to 3.5. You could round it up to 3.5 yards of fabric. So you will have enough fabric to be able to make some pillowcases, okay? However, if you want to save yourself some money and the fabric is not one that is unstable, you can go ahead and use your width for your length, and then you will save some money and save on the amount of fabric you will need. So then you would divide the 93 inches by 36, and that's just 2.58 yards of fabric. You could buy 2.6 yards of fabric, and there you save yourself some money. So just decide exactly which direction you want to go. And Bob's your uncle. No, he's my cousin. Now, in this video, I will be using a question that was asked to show you guys how to calculate how much fabric you will need to make a fitted sheet when you have to join panels. Now, the bed measurements that were given to me are 96 inches for the width, 100 inches for the length, and 10 inches for the depth of the mattress. Then she has a piece of fabric that's 90 inches wide, and she has 4 yards of that fabric. The bed is 96 inches wide and the fabric is 90 inches wide, which means that she will have to join panels. Therefore, she will need 2 widths of this 90 inches fabric. The length of the mattress is 100 inches plus the depth of the mattress. The depth of the mattress is 10 inches, but we need to consider not only the depth at the foot of the bed, but also the depth at the head of the bed. Therefore, we will have to multiply 10 by 2, and that's 20 inches. So we'll add 20 inches to our 100 inches, and we'll get 120 inches. Now, it's a fitted sheet, so we will have to look at the return under the mattress. And in order for the sheet to sit snugly on the mattress when you make it, I would give at least 5 inches at the head and 5 inches at the foot for the return, which would be 10 inches. So let's add 10 more inches to this 120 inches. We get 130 inches. That's just for one width of fabric. But she needs 2 widths of fabric to make the fitted sheet. So we'll have to multiply this 130 by 2. 2 zeros are 0, 2 threes are 6, and 2 ones are 2. So she needs 260 inches of fabric. Divide that by 36 because there are 36 inches in 1 yard. So that's going to be 7.2 yards of fabric. Round that up to 7.5 yards of fabric. So she will need 7.5 yards of fabric to make that fitted sheet. And this calculation is done considering vertical joins. Now this is the calculation for vertical joins. Just suppose you want to do horizontal joins. You want to join your panels horizontally. How do you calculate that? So we've already figured out that the whole area to be covered for the length of the mattress would be 130 because that's 100 plus the depth on both ends of the bed plus the return. So that's 130 inches. So we need to cover 130 inches, and we're turning the fabric so that the width is going across the bed. And the width of the fabric is 90 inches. So if the width of the fabric is 90 inches and we need to cover 130 inches, we will need 2 widths of fabric to cover 130 inches, right? So we need 2 widths of fabric. Just like we needed 2 widths when we did the vertical calculation, we will need 2 widths to cover the mattress from side to side. Now, for the width of the bed is 96 inches plus the 10 inches for the depth on the one side plus the 10 inches for the depth on the other side. So that's 96 plus 10 plus 10 equals 10 plus 10 equals 20 plus 96 equal 116 plus the return. The return is 10 inches, 5 inches on either side of the mattress. So we add 10 inches to this and we get 126 inches. So we need a piece of fabric that covers 126 inches to go across the mattress and under the mattress. And we need 2 widths. So we will multiply this 126 inches by 2. And that's 2 6s are 12, 2 2s 4, and 1 5. 2 1s 2. That's 252 divided by 36 because there are 36 inches in a yard. And we get 7 yards. The best way to join your fabric panels so they look intentional is to take your 1 width of fabric place it in the middle, then put one panel to one side and another panel to the other side. Then, if your sewing machine affords you to do a decorative stitch, do a decorative stitch on the seam on both sides. This way, it doesn't look like, oh, you had to join panels to make your sheet. It actually looks intentional. Just suppose you want to do horizontal joins. Doing the solid 90 inches in the middle, and then do panels on either side of the 90 inches. And again, do some decorative stitches on your seam so that the whole thing looks intentional and finished. On the board here, I have a couple of diagrams. The top one here is of a mattress, and it's a queen mattress. What you need to do is measure the length of your mattress and the width of your mattress. Now for this one on the board, the width is 60 inches and the length is 80 inches. Then we need to measure the depth of the mattress. My mattress is 8 inches. So I'll add 8 times 2. And times 2 because we want to account for the right side and the left side. So 2 8s are 16 inches. So we'll add 16 inches to the 60 inches. We'll also need to add 16 inches to the length because we want to account for the head of the bed and the foot of the bed. So this is plus 16. 60 plus 16 is 76 inches. 80 plus 16 is 96 inches. Next, we will need to look at the additional fabric that will be folding under the mattress, because there are some fitted sheets when you buy them, they barely sit at the edge of the mattress, but we want to make sure that we get enough fabric so that it is well under the mattress and it doesn't keep popping out. Okay, so in order to do that, we'll add 6 inches to our measurements. However, we need to double that 6 inches because we're accounting for the head of the bed, the foot of the bed, and for the width, we're accounting for the left side and the right side. So we'll add a total of 12 inches to the width and a total of 12 inches to the length. So that's going to be 88 inches for the width and 108 inches for the length. This is representing a piece of fabric that is cut to make a fitted sheet. So our length will be 108 inches and our width will be 88 inches. We will need to cut out pieces from the 4 corners of the fabric that we have cut here. And how do we know how much fabric to cut out from the 4 corners? We take the depth of our mattress, which is 8 inches, plus the additional fabric that will be going under the mattress, which is 6 inches. We add them, that gives us 14 inches. So let's do that on the table. I am measuring off 14 inches. I'm going to put a mark. Then over here, I measure 14 inches also. Then I put my mark. Next, I'll take my square. I line up the straight edge along the straight edge of the fabric here, just where the mark is, and I will put my line. I'm using a pencil. You can use tailor's chalk. Then I have a mark over here. I want to draw a line along here. So what I'll do is put my square along the straight edge here, and I'll go ahead and put my mark. However, my square isn't long enough to go all the way so the lines intersect. So I'll just use my yardstick and finish off the lines. I will follow my line with my scissors and just cut this piece of fabric out. This you will do in all 4 corners. Okay, so the next thing to do is, remember, right sides together. We will go ahead and we will put the fabric together just like so. Then I'm going to put a few pins in just so it does not shift. And then I'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch along here. And then we'll move on to the next step. The next step is to flat stitch a double hem along the perimeter of your sheet in Makin. However, what I suggest is that you iron a 1-inch hem around the perimeter of your sheet before you stitch. I am doing a double hem, and I find this is the easiest way to do a proper double hem. I'm going to stop right here. So now we have ironed a 1-inch hem. What we're trying to do is make a pocket for our elastic. So I'll go ahead and I'll fold under right back to the line that I pressed in. So essentially I'm making a 1/2 inch pocket. But there is something else you need to know. I just stopped stitching here because for you to be able to get your elastic inside the pocket here, you will need to leave a little gap. And then you start stitching again. And then I'll show you how I put the elastic in. That's enough. Let's move this away. Use a safety pin and you put it onto the end of the elastic, close it, and then find your gap, push the pin in with the elastic. There we go. And you just keep going until you are all the way around your sheet. I will be using a flat sheet to make a fitted sheet. I am taking into account a mattress pad that comes with the mattress. Therefore, my measurement for my width is 42 inches. And the measurement for my length is 72 inches. The depth is 10 inches. I will link a video for you that I did that is a great tutorial which shows you how to make your fitted sheet considering your length, your width, your depth, your wrap under, everything. Okay, so let's get started. I folded the sheet horizontally into two, and then I folded again vertically into two. So essentially I have 4 layers of fabric here on my table. To make the fitted sheet from this flat sheet, I will be working with 2 measurements: the width and the length. I will now measure off my length. Because I have this folded into 2, I'll have to take half of the length, which is 36 inches, because the full length is 72 inches. And I measure from the top here and I will just stick a pin here where I have my 36 inches. Then from this end, I'll also measure off 36 inches. Next, I will take my straight edge and I will connect from this side here where I've pinned to over this side. I will just use my tailor's chalk to put a straight line across. I'm using a blue tailor's chalk. You can get white tailor's chalk also, and you can also try to work on the wrong side of your fabric. Now this tailor's chalk will come out easily, no problem. On this line here, I will measure off 21 inches from the edge, and I will just use the tailor's chalk to mark the 21 inches. Then I will also measure off 21 inches from the inside edge, and then I will mark off my 21 inches. Next, I will use my straight edge and I will connect my marks. Now my next step is to get my scissors and I will cut out the corner here. I will have to butt up this edge here with this edge over here, and because of the measurement of the flat sheet that I'm working with, this side here is longer than this side. So what I'll now do is cut the excess fabric off this side so that I'll be able to butt them up seamlessly. This side is 14 inches. Therefore, I will need to make this side also 14 inches. 14 inches, I'll mark it right here. And then I'll see how many inches this is from the mark. It's 4 inches. So then I'll go ahead and I measure 4 inches here. I mark it. Then I'll use my straight edge and I'll connect this dot with this one, or this mark with this mark, because it's not really a dot. And cut off the excess fabric. Now we are ready to stitch. Open the sheet. Right sides together. We'll butt up the corners just like so, and then we'll stitch. Then we'll move on to the next step. Now I'm at the ironing board. My next step will be to fold an inch and press right around the perimeter. Okay, so now I'm at the sewing machine. What I'm doing is opening the section that I just pressed, the 1 inch. I'll fold the edge of the fabric in towards the seam that I pressed, and then I'll fold again. So essentially what I'm doing is making a 1/2 inch double hem, which is the pocket where the elastic is going to be threaded through. I am back around from where I started. I will be leaving just a little inlet so I can string the fitted sheet with the elastic. Now I will also link a video for you in which I explained how you can figure out how much elastic you will need for your fitted sheet, for any size fitted sheet that you are making. Now the reason why I mentioned about making sure all the flaps in the corners are running the same direction, it's because when you are stringing your pocket hair, putting the elastic in, then you can go ahead and run your elastic in the same direction. That will ensure that your pin does not get caught in the little flap that's inside of the pocket. So I will go ahead and I will string this pocket. It's a long way around. So here goes. You can either stitch the ends of the elastic together, or you can tie them together. And I am choosing to tie them together. Make sure that you tie them tightly so they do not come undone. Also, the inlet that you thread the elastic through. You can choose to stitch it off, or you can leave it just so if you need access to the elastic. The hole that I have here is so tiny, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm doing this lesson to show you the easiest way to figure out how much elastic you will need to buy when you go to buy your fabric for the fitted sheet. Let's look at a queen fitted sheet, and a standard queen fitted sheet is 60 inches by 80 inches. In order to find out how much elastic we will need, first let's find out how many inches go around the fitted sheet, which is the perimeter of the fitted sheet, right? So if this is our fitted sheet, this would be 60, this would be 60, this would be 80, and this would be 80. So to get the distance around, we'll just have to add up all these numbers. Let's do the 2 6s first. That's 2 6s are 12, it's 120 inches. And 2 8s are 16, that's 160 inches. Add these two together and we get 280 inches. So the distance around that we want to put the elastic is 280 inches. I would suggest that you get up to 2/3 the distance around in elastic. So how do we figure out 2/3 of 280 inches? We do this. 2/3 times 280. Then we have to multiply 280 by 2, which is going to be 2 zeros are 0, 2 8s are 16, carry the 1 here, 2 2s are 4, and 1 5, 560 inches. And then we divide that by the 3. So that's 186.7. And this, my friend, is inches. How do we find out how many yards are in 186.7? We divide by 36 because there are 36 inches in a yard. 5.18 yards. Now, usually I round up, but here you could just round down to 5 yards. The 0.18 of elastic won't hurt anything. That, my friends, is how we calculate how much elastic we will need for our fitted sheet when we are making it. The bottom line is buy about 2/3 of the measurement of the perimeter of your fitted sheet to make sure you have enough elastic to go around the fitted sheet to finish it off. In this video, I will show you the quick and easy way to fold your fitted sheet. So just follow along. And that is the quickest and easiest way to fold your fitted sheets. I want us to get real, talking about whether or not it makes sense, right, to sew your own fitted sheets. I do have two videos on the channel. One tells you how to calculate fabric for your pillowcases, and one tells you how to calculate fabric for your flat sheet. Now those two things I think are straightforward and they're not difficult. They're not very technical to do, right? So I think they're worth it. But is it worth it to DIY your fitted sheet? Before you DIY your fitted sheets or decide to DIY your fitted sheets, I need you guys to ask yourself 5 questions. Number 1, am I using a specific fabric with specific content and pattern and colors to coordinate with the existing elements in the room? Number 2, even if I am, can I get something in store that will coordinate nicely with the other elements I already have existing in the room? Number 3, how much is the fabric going to cost me? And that will depend on how much fabric do I need to make this fitted sheet. Now, a king size bed can run you anywhere from 8 yards of fabric, and that depends on the width of the fabric. If you get sheeting fabric, which is generally 118 inches wide, you're fine. You don't have to worry about putting panels together. But if you get anything less than that, then you will have to think about the fact that you will have to put panels together in order to make your fitted sheet. And you want those joints to be, or at least to look intentional. You don't want it to look like I didn't have enough fabric or I have to join panels together, because it's different from doing a window treatment, right? And you put panels together. This is a sheet that is there on your bed that's visible. So you want it to look intentional. If you have to join those panels, that's when the fabric is gonna run you up, because you will need at least 2 widths of fabric. So find out, how much fabric will I need to make this fitted sheet? And don't forget that you will also need the elastic to go either just on the corner of the sheet or all the way around, depending on how you want to do it. Well, elastic's not that expensive, but it's also an added cost. Number 5, how much can I buy a fitted sheet for in store? Now, I suggest that if you can get a fitted sheet for under 20-25 bucks, then I think it might just be worth your while to buy that sheet instead of trying to DIY. It will save you time and money. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please drop in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.